been a little while. I think I'll start this by kind of recapping our trip to Spain. You know, it was fantastic on every front. We had a great group of donors go. Travel was great, no problems. We had incredible weather every day. Everybody had fun and enjoyed it. And then the basketball was pretty good as well. I think we went over there with a mindset that we'd had 10 practices. We put in a lot of very basic fundamental things for that trip, knowing that the rules were a little bit different, the shot clock shorter, and we kind of played to that. But a lot of equality in the minutes over there. That was on purpose. We pretty much knew what some of our veterans were going to do. It was a great opportunity to look at a lot of new faces. Obviously, we did not have Marcus on that trip in terms of being able to play. We chose to hold him out due to he'd been fighting a hamstring issue, and which is now healed. But we came out of that trip, and I felt much better about it after than I did going in, and really kind of surprised myself. Usually you see a bunch of holes and you see some things that, gosh, we don't have this or we don't do this, and I didn't have that feeling. I've told our team this, and we have backed off what we've done this fall. We have not started practice yet. Okay, we are still continuing kind of a little slower pace in the fall in terms of practice. We're still doing our preseason workouts, our individuals. We're adhering to that schedule. We didn't start anything in the fall. We started 2 weeks later with Fletch, with doing all of that for a reason, because we had the 10 days of practice, the extended play in August. So we've taken a little slower approach. We haven't gone much over an hour at any point in any workout this fall. So we'll get cranked up next Friday. We'll constitute truly our first day of practice. And yet I feel like we're in a really good place. We're still adding things in our workouts. The most important thing is the time with Fletch in the weight room, conditioning. It has been, without question, and I think if Fletch was here, he would tell you this has been the best year we've ever had in terms of that. Here's why I say that. This is an ultra competitive group. And little things, mile times, we all have, it's part of our conditioning test that Fletch does. Usually most people just try to get through that, and there's a lot of complaining about, well, we're not a track team or this or that. This year they're all trying to shatter records. And it's been a very mature, competitive. Justin Harmon actually broke our mile record, which was Jacob Grandison's and Trent Frazier's. So he actually broke that record. Justin is a tough sucker. So if you can imagine getting on a treadmill and setting it at about 12.8 on the treadmill and running a mile at that, that's what it took to break that record. So but I feel like we're in better shape. I think if you look at our bodies of our guys, you'll see that we're obviously older, we're more mature, we're much more physical than we've been. That excites me. That was very evident in Spain, our physicality. And then I came away in Spain loving our depth. Now, depth always has a way to play itself out a little bit. We'll see how that works. But we actually have tremendous experience coming off the bench, starting whatever it is, 1 through 10, 1 through 11. You know, we've got 2 freshmen that I've been excited about. Both played great. Oh, we actually have 3 freshmen. All 3 of them played great in Spain. Nico Moretti, I forget it's a freshman because he joined us last year. Draven and Amani, all of them had great moments on the Spain trip and are doing terrific. So I feel really, really good about those guys as well. So obviously some new faces, grad transfers. I mentioned Justin, Marcus, you know, a huge scorer, an all-league player, a league MVP at Southern, and then Quincy, a guy that's done it at Syracuse. He's done it at Oregon. Very, very versatile, and so you put those guys with our vets, and you can see why I'm pretty excited about the depth perspective, and along with that depth comes tremendous versatility. So, you know, what I think will be the toughest schedule we've ever had. You know, last year was kind of a strange year. I think we ended up with one quad one game at home, and a game we lost. Kind of how quirky the schedule was and how things kind of fell in the league. But depending on this year, I mean, we could have as many as 20, and you know, 20 quad one games. And I think the league's that good. Just the way they fell with our twos and who we play twice and who we play singles and where could be an unbelievable year. And obviously our non-league schedule is going to be very difficult and very, very challenging and very beneficial. And so we're always going to continue to play what we hope is the best schedule in the country every year. I think there's great benefit in that. We're excited about some of those games and opportunities. So with that, I'll open it up and fire away.
Marcus, just what's his ramp up been like, and what have you been able to see from the guys?
Yeah, I think a couple of the biggest things with Marcus is one, he's really, really worked hard on his body, he and Fletch, and he's kind of gone from a power forward / center body to a much, much leaner. I think he was 218 or 219 the other day. Just in changing his body, he's become more mobile. He's sneaky, bouncy in terms of his ability to jump, but his stamina, his conditioning. He's a guy that will be a usage guy for us. He's going to play in a lot of different roles, and so he's been very good. The game for Marcus is very slow, and that's a really good thing. He does not play sped up, and it doesn't matter. You can go put Sincere on him, or you can put Ty on him, or you can put Coleman on him, and he just plays the same way. It doesn't matter the athleticism. He's got a very, very mature way about him, and that experience helps. So he'll be a usage guy for us. There's no doubt.
He's full go.
He's full go. Yes.
I mean, is there a connection between that depth you talked about and maybe helping find big things again since I really got the
I hope so. I think I've got to give our staff a ton of credit, because one of the changes we made this year, and I think it's very common in today's basketball society. You know, we call a workout sometimes getting with a trainer and getting cones and doing some ball handling and doing some shooting, and we say we worked out. What we forget to do in there is compete and play. And you know, many generations of guys, you know, working out was play pickup. Our staff felt like we needed that, and so we in the summer we incorporated 30 minutes of pickup. It was part of our 4 hours a week. We built that in on purpose, and we had coaches on the floor coaching. We mixed it up. Sometimes we played to time, sometimes we played to score. We put different rules on it, but in doing so, that we developed a chemistry, and we developed a very competitive environment. I started the first game in Spain. You know, AJ Red. Everything became very competitive this summer, from our shooting competitions to who won and lost. He had the highest winning percentage. So we started. And I want guys to understand that competing is ultimately what this is about. But to answer your question, I think that all of that is played hand in hand, and I think that they're all very singular in their focus about what they want this team to be, and that's being a part of the winner.
Coach, what's your thoughts on the three-point shooting on this team? Obviously a stat from last year that you're going to want to improve at this year.
Yeah, I think there was a couple things. I think one, we took too many. I think 42% of our shots were threes last year. I think that's one of the things that team had to do. I think this team's completely different in terms of maybe style of play, in terms of the build and makeup of it. You look at the productivity we had in Spain from the 5 spot with Dane, Coleman, Amani, very, very productive at that spot, and a lot of versatility. Last year we didn't have that. I think that reducing attempts will help, and I think much more about, shot selection. That was something last year we took a lot of contested threes. It's something we're talking a lot about, and we have to avoid. I heard Brett use it the other day, and in a football term, you can't throw an interception on first or second down. That's like shooting a 3 with 17 or 18 on the clock with a hand in your face. You just don't want to do that. Nothing good happens when you do that. So we're working really hard at trying to avoid those, and we do have really good shooters. You look at numbers and Marcus Quincy. Draven has been off the chart. We know Coleman can make him. Shot selection for him has been a big deal. Then you get Luke Goody back, who's a proven 40+% shooter his whole career. So, we'll be fine from there.
Brad, you mentioned the difference in style of play, makeup. What do you want the identity to be offensively this year?
No, I think it's more about execution. It's more about staying within what we do. We turn the ball over way too many times. My teams traditionally haven't done that a lot. And the freedom and the randomness with which we played with last year hurt us. And we didn't take care of the ball. We had too many unforced turnovers. It's more about execution. It's more about having an identity that we know we need to get a good shot every time. Are we still going to play fast? Yeah, we still want to score under 7 seconds. That's one of this team's great assets is our ability to run, our ability to play with tempo. But yet, when we don't have that, then we have to execute, and then we have to be able to go a little deeper into the shot clock and execute, and not take that contested 3. So those are all things that we've talked about at nauseum already with this group.
Point guard position is one that you wanted to address, and you kind of had freshmen doing it last year. This year it's Ty Rogers who's kind of stepped that role. What do you see from that position and the depth and talent?
Really good players. Ty's a guy that I've told him this. I should have played him there a lot more last year. I moved him around too much. It's his natural position. It's where he's instinctive. He's a tremendous passer. Ty's one of our best athlete. I think he touched 12-4 vertical the other day. He's strong. His weight is down. He's moving great. I think that Nico is a guy that has just tremendous experience beyond his years, playing on the world stage, to be honest, and he's tremendous offensively. He's got a lot of savvy and instinct, and he's a quick processor on the offensive side. Draven is a guy who can play it. Draven's got a little bit of Trent in him in terms of his athleticism. He's a scoring type mentality guy where he can go get one on a time. He's been today in our workout. He was a handful in practice, and we were working on getting trapped, and he was terrific. So I think we've got a lot of flexibility there. We've got a lot of different things. I think I love Ty's size. Again, he'll be a guy that'll be a difficult matchup for a lot of people.
But last year, we talked about, also you guys wanted to add in length athleticism on the wings, you addressed that. I guess what was the top of the checklist for you guys this offseason to build your roster out?
Yeah, I think we tried to address shooting, and I think we tried to address age and experience. I think, you know, there's no getting around, we're at a unique time in college sports because of COVID and the grad transfers. And we have one more year of that, and it's a huge age discrepancy when you can have a 23 or 24. I think we'll have multiple 24-year-olds this year, and when you can put 24-year-olds out there instead of 18-year-olds, just physically and experience, we should take advantage of that. So we were very purposeful in what we went after in the portal, and then guys that could do multiple things. Marcus can do multiple things. You know, Justin can do multiple things, and he's a tough, just hard-nosed hombre. I mean, he's got a pit bull mentality, and you know, and then Quincy again has proven he can be an elite rebounder at this level and an elite shot maker, and that versatility is nice to have. So we were very purposeful in what we went after in the portal.
I think there were times last year you wanted a little bit more out of your leadership at times during the season. What have you seen from Terrence and Coleman about what they learned from last year and how they can apply it this year?
Yeah, and I think leadership's hard. I mean, leadership is hard, and it's getting harder to find in today's age. And you know, leadership. I've told all of our guys, you know, sometimes to be a leader, you've got to tell people that you really care about something they don't want to hear, something that's really hard. And we're in a world today where they're on social media and they see all the positive hits. They get the dopamine hit that feels good. They like that. They want to be liked. Leadership's hard. And this team has some natural leaders. I think we're still trying to identify who all those leaders are. Terrence, yes, he's been back. He's had success. He's a first-team All-League guy. Coleman, in the fact that he's a 4-year player with us, has tremendous experience. We had a meeting yesterday where we didn't set rules with this team. We set standards. There's a big difference. Rules, rules you have to abide by. Standards you live by. And every single person on our team stood up. Every single one of them stood up and gave what they thought was important to them for our team to be successful. And I was blown away by that. And we have multiple guys who can lead. I don't think it's going to be one. I think we're still trying to find out the hierarchy of what our leadership is and will be. Quincy Guerrier was the first one to jump up yesterday. The first one. And you know, not bashful, he's mature, and so I think there's a lot of things out there, but that's one thing I'm not worried about at this point in time. I am not worried about our leadership. I feel really, really good about where that locker room is at.
Coach, seems like with this roster, you have the ability to go big or go small. Those rotations and those lineups, is that something you want to try to figure out early on, or just let it play out and see what gels?
Both. We've been very, we worked on that a lot in Spain. You know, we looked at different lineups, and you know, you throw a Ty, a TJ, you know, a Marcus, a Coleman, or a Quincy, whatever it is, and all of a sudden we're positionally very, very big, and we may not have that 7-foot Kofi-like guy. But positionally, we've got tremendous size, and then you know, Quincy's 235 pounds. We can play small ball 5 with him, and do some different things with some different lineups. So we're pretty intentional right now, Doug, in terms of how we're what we think we've got. But ultimately, we'll have to see what all of that looks like.
Brad, how do you feel like, based off your answer, taking maybe something off of Ty's plate, making him not a jack of all trades, master of none, and making him more of an expertise at something is going to help him?
Yeah, you imagine as a freshman, I mean, most freshmen have very hard years. Okay, everything is new. I don't care who you are and how good you are. It's a hard year. It's a year of adjustment. And here was his ball coach giving him a lot. And one of the things that Ty does at an elite level is rebound. And we wanted that, we needed that last year. So I'm thinking, okay, we gotta play him at power forward, and, you know, and then, here's his playmaking, and he enables, he's a great guy to enable, makes the next pass, he makes guys better. So I was stuck in between, and I know I needed him on the court, and what happened is he lost confidence. And that was my fault. That was my fault. To his credit, he put his nose to the grindstone and just kept working through it. And just by playing the one position, the only thing we've changed is what we do in transition, defense, because we've got to take advantage of his ability to rebound. So I think just simplifying things and letting him know that we believe in you at this position has just freed him up, and we've seen a whole different guy.
Right, when those guys stood up and kind of set their standards for this, were there any common thread between what they said, and if so, maybe that reinforced to you what you want your program to be about?
Oh, the common threads were all there. And it's very nice to hear us things and not me things. And all of this group was talking about what the accomplishments they want for our program. And they're both good and bad. There's things that they know can be distractions and so on and so forth, but a lot of commonality in terms of what they were saying, what they're thinking. And you know, I was as encouraged yesterday as I've been in maybe ever coming out of a meeting like that. And this group has the ability to lead themselves, and they have ability to set some very high standards and hopefully try to achieve those.
Was it just the volume of work, like late July, early August, that made you kind of decide to treat fall this way? Or was there something else maybe about just holding off until next week?
Yeah, one, we're older. I mean, this group has a vast knowledge of experience, and so the teaching and the capability of retaining stuff and learning and was pretty quick. So I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of what our ability to to add something. They've we've got a lot of guys that have seen it, been there, done that. This group is a very, very visual group. They love to watch video. They love to watch film. So they're always doing that. We haven't even had to prod them to do that. So I think our learning curve has been a little smaller, but it's a long season. I feel like we're getting done what we need, and most importantly, I've just I won't say given in to Fletch. I haven't, but I feel that getting guys where we need them, in the type of shape we need them, the extra time with Fletch, and we've kept it very basic in terms of again what we've done on the court.
Brad and Bonnie, you seem to be a bright spot in Spain. How does he factor into that front court? I know you got a lot of pieces up there, but what do you think can be in store for him this year?
Amani is he's so simple, and I mean that in every essence of confidence and the way he does it. He knows the game, he understands it. We didn't run a play for him, he's got 2 double-doubles. And all we ask him to do is what we do. And he's got great anticipation on the offensive glass. He's extremely long. We asked him to just rim run and run as hard as you can, and he did that. And he got some post-ups, and he knows how to finish. He kept the game so simple, and he does that. He's a very, very good 17-foot shooter. He's expanding his range to 3. He made 2 threes today in a 4-minute segment. So again, he's not only a guy who can play in pick and rolls and catch it in the pocket and pass and spray it, but he's also a guy who can play pick and pop and shoot threes. So as for most freshmen, the adjustments come on the defensive side and learning that. But he's been very well coached, and I'm pretty excited about what he's going to give, what he's able to give us. I don't know what that'll look like yet, but he's been very good.
How did Terrence get better?
Terrence has gotten better. Terrence is one of he is a guy that maybe since IO, between his sophomore and junior year shooting the ball, have I seen a guy get better? His mid-range game is better. His decision-making is better. We've got him jumping, playing off 2 feet, much more than than he did last year. I mean, Terrence's numbers off 1 foot, and he's an elite finisher. You know, we're 50+% off 1. You're 75% off 2, and you show him those analytics, and now he's worked on that. You know, he's a guy who can get one anytime. He's always had that ability to be a bull and get downhill. I think he's going to be one of the top guys in the country in terms of free throw attempts, especially if the officials say what they're planning on doing is not calling charges. Those will be blocks. He's a guy who can get to the line a lot, but he's really become successful at his mid-range. And you start scoring at all 3 levels like that. He's a guy that's really worked and improved his game.
Do the additions to the roster kind of allow Coleman Hawkins to be more who he is and do more of the things that he does well?
Yeah, you know, Coleman's versatility is a positive. And I've said this many times, I think he's one of the best defenders in college basketball. And I don't think there's many guys out there who can go guard 1 through 5. And, you know, there's different challenges for Coleman as a 5-man or as a 4-man. You know, you start putting him as a 5-man, and now he gets a lot of mismatches. He gets a lot of pick and pop threes. He gets a lot of ability to drive the basketball against bigger 5-men. As 4-men, that becomes a little different. You know, a lot of teams switch 1 through 4. So those challenges are very different. I think he's a lot more comfortable in differentiating those 2. And, you know, we forget Coleman was an elite roller, you know, his sophomore year when he was backing up Kobe a lot. I mean, he was a tremendous roller. He was a tremendous offensive rebounder. We've got to get Coleman back doing some of those things, and yet, you know, he's a guy that every time he's open in a pick and pop, I feel like he's going to make it when he shoots a 3, and that's a big advantage for us.
Last year for Nico, where did you see him maybe taking the big improvements there?
Just getting to practice for Nico was so important last year. He came in and he's gained weight. You know, he's been somewhere, you know, anywhere from 170 to 180. I think he lost after Spain. He went home. I think he lost a couple pounds, but just his confidence. I mean, we see that grow every single day. And offensively, he's very, very talented. He's very gifted. He's a great passer. He's got great pace. He doesn't get sped up, and we see him gaining confidence every single day in his ability to guard and make those improvements. So he was a problem last year on the scout team. He's carrying that over this year. He's been very, very good in all of our 5-on-5 stuff.
Coach, what improvements have you seen from Dane? He had some good games in Spain.
Yeah, Dane is, you know, I think Dane was 262 today. I think he ran, I'm going to be off a minute if I don't have it right in front of me. I think he ran a 5:29 mile. His conditioning is leaps and bounds better than it was a year ago. You know, people forget he was a freshman. He was 10 points and close to 10 points and 6 rebounds. We need his rebounding to be better. We need him to be the leading rebounder in the Big Ten. That's what I want for him. You know, he turned it over too much. I think I've been very conscientious about talking with him about some of those and how to clean that up, how to simplify his game. But I mean, he's a guy that can be a 12, 14, and 8, 9, 10 rebound a game guy, and capable of having big nights. But he has worked so hard at changing his diet, at working with Fletch. His conditioning he's taken to another level. He's a young man with tremendous pride, and he wants to be great. He's always looking to push himself with different ways to get better, and I got tremendous respect for that.
I guess like Sincere was kind of the process of building off last year and getting more production and confidence on the offensive end.
Yeah, Sincere was as impactful a freshman as maybe they're, as I've seen anyway, on the defensive side. And it wasn't about what he did off. I mean, Sincere won us a lot of games and changed a lot of games. And, you know, I think that that energy was contagious. I think his understanding of what made him successful and what he has to get better at. You know, we started him a lot of games. He's a guy that, again, can play a lot of point. We've played him, as we did in Spain, a lot more off the ball because he's very fast. He can really get out in the open court. He's an open court finisher. But there's no doubt his on-ball presence, he's one of the elite on-ball defenders, and not just the Big Ten, but in the country. And that value is, as we have all seen, is extremely high. But he's gotten stronger. That year of in the weight room with Fletch has helped. He worked his tail off this summer. And, you know, he's hopefully not as poor at the free throw line as he was last year, because I think he's going to get there a lot. But he's worked extremely hard at it as well.
Has there been an emphasis on that where guys have been kind of explained, or is there acknowledgement that if you want to be in on that last media timeout, free throw percentage, you got to be better than that?
Yeah, it's really simple. I mean, missing 2 free throws is a turnover. You know, it's tragic. I mean, it's unexplainable. I mean, you can't do it. You can't get to where you want to go if you've got guys not making free throws. And you know, for him, I mean, he was an 80% free throw shooter in high school. It just became a confidence thing and a nervous thing, and I think he's gotten through some of that. I think, you know, we've seen major improvement with Ty in that area. But the guys that get there a lot need to be really good free throw shooters, and we saw Kofi improve through his career. I think we'll see that with guys as they continue to get a little older and keep practicing. Most guys don't practice free throws. They don't. I mean, we did a drill the other day. We just put 15 minutes on the clock and shoot 5 at every basket and move for 15 minutes, and they're in awe of how many they can make, you know, and how many they can shoot just in 15 minutes. But you know, I've got to do a better job of making sure we're shooting a lot of free throws and getting a lot of practice in.
Luke Goody said even when he came back last year, he didn't feel like he was moving as well laterally. He was healthy.
He wasn't.
But so, how's his progression there?
Conditioning. I mean, you think about Luke, played spot minutes as a freshman, kind of goes through it, gets in pretty good shape in the summer, goes through practice, and then all of a sudden there's no real game experience, none. You know, a scrimmage against Kansas, no game experience, no feel what it's like to feel your lungs burning because of your conditioning. And then all of a sudden you're out 23 or 4 games and we bring you back and say, oh, by the way, we need you to be really good. And that's an uncomfortable feeling. He did some phenomenal things and was probably in the best shape he could be. When you got a foot injury, you can't run to get in shape. His conditioning alone has just changed his game. And you know, he's a young man that's always been able to shoot off the move, shoot going away from the basket. Those are things that are affected by conditioning and your ability to you know, keep your head still and not be breathing hard all the time. He was breathing hard in 2 trips. So conditioning will help him immensely, and he's in great shape right now.
Has Quincy maybe been able to meld the rebounding he did at Syracuse with the shot making he did in Oregon? And if he does, like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's huge. We need his rebounding, there's no doubt. He's an elite rebounder. He is a special athlete. I mean, he plays way above the rim. And you know, one of the things he did at Syracuse, was drive the basketball. I mean, he was a really good face-up, shot fake, rip drive at 2 dribbles and put his head on the rim, along with rebounding. And that's the guy we're trying to get with, along with the guy who made 55 threes last year. And he can do that in space and time. He's you know, what we call a gravity guy. He's going to pull a defender with him. You know, if he's spaced in the corner or on a wing. And yet he's a guy that we feel pretty effective with. Put him at 15 feet, 17 feet, where he can rip drive it, 1 dribble, get to the rim. So Quincy's got a he's got a pretty good bag. He's got a pretty good offensive bag, and we've just got to get that tenacity back on the glass that we know he's capable of. Thank you.